This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shasheena Rolle. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, funding is in the pipeline for small and medium-sized projects. SMEs are considered critical to the growth of the local economy. Last night, BAIC and the Bahamas Entrepreneurial Venture Fund held a business forum at the Foster B. Pastina Center. The educational session provided aspiring business owners with information needed to tap into the government's Entrepreneurial Venture Fund. Many gathered at the Foster B. Pastina Center to learn more about the Venture Fund. According to Michael Cunningham, chairman of the Bahamas Entrepreneurial Venture Fund, he says the Bahamas Entrepreneur Fund is designed to develop small and medium enterprises that are experiencing challenges in getting funding from traditional financial institutions.
When you apply to the Venture Fund, you don't have to go through all of the red tapes that you would normally go through when you apply for funding from banks and, of course, insurance companies. And when you apply to the Venture Fund, it's not only loans, as I would indicate later. At that time, the government made a commitment of some $1 million per year to fund small businesses throughout the Bahamas. The focus was, and still is, directed to unique business operations that will create employment and spark other business interests.
He says the program has already spent $5 million in funding since 2005, though he admits that there has not been many success stories here on the island of Grand Bahama.
The experience has not been good in the Family Islands for various reasons, particularly in Grand Bahama. However, we need to find a way to assist companies in Grand Bahama and the Family Islands to have a better success ratio. Thus, our presence here today. We feel that new opportunities are beginning to mushroom in Grand Bahama and on a number of the other Family Islands. And we want entrepreneurs to be ready to take advantage of such opportunities, and funding itself should not be an issue.
He explained to those in attendance that the present maximum for equity funding is up to $200,000.
We've done so with a number of companies. Some have failed and some have succeeded. And debt is up to, or loans up to, $100,000. The repayment period for loans is set presently at 3 to 5 years, but we're changing that because we know that many small companies will not be in a position to pay back a loan of $100,000 within 3 to 5 years.
For further information on obtaining a loan through the Venture Fund, you can contact BAIC.
Thank you very much.
Now, Minister for Grand Bahama, Dr. the Honorable Michael Darville, was among the presenters at last night's business forum. Dr. Darville says the government is serious about promoting small and medium-sized businesses and plans to bring a bill to Parliament soon to complement the fund.
Small and medium-sized enterprises represent more than 50% of this country's economic activity. Yet they continue to face a number of challenges, which include access to capital and lack of technical support. With so many small businesses in Grand Bahama hanging in by the thread, this administration believes that our effort to increase funding to the Bahamas Venture Fund and the implementation of our proposed small to medium-sized Enterprise Development Bill 2013 will make many small to medium-sized businesses more competitive and finally remove many of the roadblocks that prevent them from accessing capital for growth and expansion.
Now, Dr. Darville cited Bahamas Striping and Cheesecake Heaven as two examples of success. He says there has not been much success when it comes to ventures on Grand Bahama, but he urged the interested entrepreneurs to continue to explore their dreams.
It is important to follow your dreams. It is important to stick to the ideas. And it is important to capitalize on opportunities available to you at this time. I assure you that the Venture Fund, as well as the technical expertise offered through BAIC, as well as the National Training Agency, will give you the skills that you need to follow your dreams. It is my hope that all local residents interested in business will seize this opportunity and take full advantage of any other initiative that is afforded, whether it's government sponsored or not. You must seek and understand what is available for you so that you can take your idea from your head and make it a reality.
Well, after years of industrial unrest and public outcry from workers, the situation at a local company appears to have taken on a positive turn. Tonight, the labor leader who represents those employees is expressing optimism going forward. Sabrina Brown has this story.
President of the Bahamas Marine Dock and Construction Refinery Union, Lionel Morley, says since the intervention of the government, the relationship between Quality Services and the union has been steadily improving.
The environment is somewhat not as shaky, unstable as it used to be, but it is still a long way to go. We still got years and miles to go with regard to helping Quality Service understand that it is in their best interest to follow the industrial relation practice code that will ensure workers fair play and equity and will ensure management likewise.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs and Immigration, Fred Mitchell, reminded employers recently that the Code of Industrial Practice in the Industrial Relations Act remains the guide for best practices when dealing with their employees. But Morley says the contentious environment that existed at Quality Services for years cannot be laid solely at the feet of the company.
Some of that is attributed to the union for the lack of educating its membership, for the lack of putting proper mechanism in place to ensure that once industrial actions are called, their needs are addressed readily.
Despite the challenges, the union leader says he remains cautiously optimistic about the future of the company, and he's encouraging workers to stay focused.
We just have to encourage the workers to be patient, to not give up, to be determined, and to stay the course.
Morley assures workers that all is not lost in the labor movement, and he vows that he will continue to fight for their rights. Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
Police have released the names of 7 persons who died in that alleged human smuggling attempt in waters off Holmes Rock 2 weeks ago. 5 of the 7 victims are said to be Haitian nationals: 37-year-old Ones Theus, Jackson Pierre Louis, 40, Germany's Colas, 37, Nihemi Cherie, 24 years, and 5-year-old Bensley Moneas. There were also 2 Cuban nationals on board: 32-year-old Yanesi Paez Torres and 33-year-old Norbeles Bustamante Perez. Now, a total of 8 persons died in that boating incident in waters off Holmes Rock, and police say they are still seeking to confirm the identity of the 8th person who was on board. Meantime, police are still appealing to members of the community to come forward with any information they may have that could help police locate the captain of that vessel. Now, if you have any information that can help police, you are urged to call 911-919 or the Central Detective Unit at 350-3106 or 350-3107. Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, continues right after this.